You have to have your DNR number on these barrels. So I was using a white duct tape with a Sharpie and just writing my number on there, and that worked great, except several situations the bears just tore the tape off, or the lid would get pulled off and get. So I ordered some copper trap tags and with my DNR number on it, and I'm putting them on all the barrels, so I don't think the bear will be able to pull this off. Well, the long wait is almost over. Tomorrow is the first day of baiting, and I'm ready, other than finishing loading up the trucks with ATVs and barrels and things like that. So there's an awful lot to do, a lot of little things that go on behind the scenes. There's a lot of DNR regulations, filling out forms and making sure we have everything in order. We got trail cameras and trail camera boxes. We got to put signs up at the bait sites. We're using one barrel at each bait site to start with. And I just decided to go ahead and go back to my standard use of the barrels and the chains. I just haven't been able to figure out a good system to use cable and reduce the number of lag screws we're putting in the barrels. So I'm going to stick with what works for right now. I did go out and put some Moultrie cell cameras on some of the bait sites to see if the bears were starting to check them, and yes, they actually are. I have several sites where the bears are checking the tree where we put the barrels, and they're already out there, I guess in complete anticipation of when the bait's going to be there. That bodes pretty well for this year and for the hunters. And I've got a couple wolves checking one of the sites too, so that's typical. We don't like to see it, but you can't get away from it. So it's Thursday, and this afternoon I got Sterling and Jake and Daryl and Bill and Josh and me all coming in. We're going to get everything loaded up so we can take off early in the morning. So we're going to head to the woods and try to get as many of the 24 baits out as we can. If there's a couple left over for Saturday morning, that's not the end of the world, but I'd like to get them out as early as possible. There's a chance of showers on Friday, but then there's a greater chance of showers on Monday. So Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, that'd be 3 nights that we would have for the gold rush and the bait to do its work and get the bears coming before the rain washes it down, and we'll have to rebait and relure the sites. It's really going to be hopping around here tomorrow. We really go hard that first day and get as many baits out as we can. A lot of guys ask, why don't you put the tree stands up while you're putting the baits out? And it's because we want to get as many baits out as fast as we can and get them going. And then when the bears start hitting the baits in, we'll go ahead and put the tree stands up. So we got 15 hunters coming in this year, plus Jake and me and Bill all have tags. So there's going to be 18 tags to fill all together. We got a lot of work cut out for us. I got a lot of bait. I just went and picked up 12 more barrels of trail mix at Wildwood yesterday, and that gives me 36 barrels of trail mix, plus I had about 2 barrels left over from last year. I got a lot of bait, and I hope I don't have to go buy more this year. So we'll see you on the next video.
Well, you gonna have Daryl jump in with one of us then?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up and get that bread loaded.
Okay.
I've been waiting all year for that smell. I love it.
Okay, as you can see, we really hustled on Friday. We got 20 baits out, and then Saturday we put the other 4 out. So we got a total of 24 out right now. And today's Sunday. We're going to start checking all the baits, and we have I think 6 baits that I have Moultrie mobile trail cameras on because they have cell service at them. So I've got pictures already coming in on some of them. So I know the bears are hitting. We got a lot of new baits this year because I got more hunters, and we also had about 3 baits that got logged off on us. So we're going to go and we're split up into 2 groups today. We're going to go check all of the baits, and we'll see what we got. Hopefully a lot of them have been hit already. So here we go.
Not strong enough.
You got it. Oh, you got it. Just going through trail camera pictures here. All in all, we had a pretty good day, covered a lot of ground. We got 24 baits out, and we checked them all today. Over half of them are hit, and we got some pretty good bears on them. It's, boy, you'd like to see a little bit more than that on opening day, but a lot of them are brand new baits, and it takes a while for them to get going. And once you get them fired up, they really take off. They're in great spots. But overall, I would say it's a pretty positive day. We get several of the baits that have more than 1 bear on them already, and that'll just really ramp up. You know, we had 2 nights. First night, Friday night, it actually rained pretty hard and knocked the scent down somewhat, and then tonight it's chance of thunderstorms again. So we're going to give them a break for a day, give the guys a day off. The baits that haven't been hit, then we will go back and hit them with Gold Rush one more time. We loaded them up everything that looked like it was hit. We dumped quite a bit more bait on it today. We can afford to just let them sit for a day. It's really windy out there right now. I was thinking about going out and doing a little fishing this evening with my grandson, but it's pretty windy. So we'll see if the wind dies down this evening. And Virgil's coming a little bit late this year. He said he's been really busy. And I don't know if he's bringing a boat or a four-wheeler or what. He'll probably bring a boat. He likes to fish this lake. He does pretty well out here. So it'll be good to have him around camp. The guys really like him, and he's helpful around camp. So overall, I'm feeling pretty confident right now in these baits. And it's definitely not like it was last year when the bears were just really hungry and they piled on the baits in outrageous amounts and ate an outrageous amount of food. It's going to be a pretty average typical year, I think, this year, which means we'll have to really work at it, but hopefully we'll get a bear in front of everybody that's coming to hunt with us, and we've always been able to do that. So even in years that look like they're a lot tougher than this, so I feel pretty good about it. So we'll see what happens over the next couple days here, and I'll probably bring another update here in 3-4 days. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.
Have we been to this one?
Yeah. Completely cleaned off.
Oh, it smells like.
Well, we were able to go out and do a little crappie fishing in the evening, and I just got done cleaning 15 crappies, which we're going to have for supper tonight. And the guys that are here in camp are going to be pretty pleased with that, I'm sure. Right now we got Virgil and Sterling and me and Hunter, and my wife's coming in this evening. I got another grandson that's coming in this weekend, Skyler. You've met him before if you've watched some of these vlogs. He's about to turn 13, so he's getting old enough that he can be pretty good help around camp. And in the woods, there's some things he can do, even though he can't actually be involved in anything that could be considered guiding. Today we got most of the baits done. The ones we didn't do yesterday, we did today. And we got 5 more stands up today. So we're down to 2 completely dead baits that don't have any bears on them out of 24. And I have 1 bait that was just completely taken over by a family of wolves. So that one, I guess we're just going to quit baiting it. The wolves are, they're eating the trail mix and the bread, and they're in there like biting at it, trying to get more stuff out of there. It's kind of interesting to watch the wolves because obviously they can't reach in with a paw and dig the bait out, so they just they try to bite the hole bigger to try to get up in there. But overall things are going really well. We got a lot of bears. We got some baits that I'm going to put a couple extra barrels out. Yeah, we got 1 bait that has a pile of bears on it. We're dumping 6 to 7 buckets of bait on there every day, and we come back the next morning, it's completely gone. We got another bait that's almost that good. We got a couple others that we're putting 5 to 6 buckets on every other day, and it's cleaned out when we come back. It's like we got quite a few bears out of 24 baits. I suppose we've got some with 5 and 6 bears, so maybe we got 70, 75 bears altogether on the baits right now. So it's going pretty good, and I'm excited for this year. The interesting thing is there's quite a bit of natural foods in the woods, and the bears are not like just staying right at the bait and eating and then just, you know, come back a few hours later. They do that when they first find the bait, but then they're kind of settling into an evening pattern now. This is day 7. So we've been in the woods every day. We've been using up a lot of gas in the wheelers and also in the trucks. And here, of course, there's breakdowns. My red truck, the transmission went out of it. I got to go home this weekend and go to a junkyard, pick up a transmission. They took it out for me. And then I got to take my truck to a place that installs the transmission. Then I got to get back up here for baiting on Monday. My 900 Polaris side-by-side keeps overheating, so I took it down to the ATV repair shop in Grand Rapids. It's sitting there right now, and they're going to take it in on Monday and get it fixed. And then I got a flat tire and something else, a couple other small things that are wrong with my 570 side-by-side. So I'm going to take that down there and switch when they get the 900 done and bring the 900 up here. But in the meantime, we're using Josh's side-by-side. And so today in the woods we had 2 side-by-sides and 1 four-wheeler with 6 people. It's quite a production, actually. We're going through a lot of bait. I think we've gone through 13 barrels of bait so far, and I've got a total of 36. So we should be good. Hopefully I have some left over. The Bear Professor mix is doing super good. Man, the bears love it. I might have to tweak it a little bit how much Pop-Tarts are in it, because it does tend to compact in the bottom of the barrel a little bit, so we have to kind of shovel it out or just dump the barrel over and then scoop the bait into the buckets. But I'm certain that that extra little bit of sweets in there really helps. The dried fruit really helps. I'm happy with it at this point, and like I said, I'll probably have to tweak it a little bit. But overall, I'm very positive and feeling pretty good about this, and the weather's been great. We're supposed to have a chance of thunderstorms tonight, and then next week we're supposed to have some days with the highs in the 60s. It's just great to be in the woods bear hunting every day, man. It's the best time of the year. The rest of this video just basically is I'm just going to roll some stuff, just some video that I took. It's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff that I've taken over the last couple days, and we're just going to run it for you, and then and run you some trail camera pictures. We got a lot of cool pictures and videos of bears on the baits. So let's just roll all that stuff right now. Well, we're headed out this morning. It is Wednesday morning, and we've got almost all the baits are working. We still got maybe, I think, 3 that haven't been hit at all. Conditions have not been bad for scent dispersal, which of course is the most important factor in getting baits hit, is having the right, wind direction, wind speed, humidity. All those things affect scent dispersal, and it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been ideal, but it's been pretty decent. We only had 1 significant rainfall. The ones that aren't being hit, I got Sterling going out today. He's going to hit it with Gold Rush again, and then I'm heading out to fill some more back up. We got a lot of baits that are just getting pounded. We got a lot of morning and all day activity right now. That'll settle down into mostly evening activity as time goes on. The one thing that's kind of on my mind I thought I might share with you right now is I've got good guides, good people that I'm working with, but sometimes it's hard for them to understand that I do things like I do a lot of little things that mean a lot, and I think sometimes the guides are like, why are we doing it like this, or this doesn't seem like it should be important to do it this specific way. And they're good workers and everything, but everybody wants to kind of make things go a little quicker or faster, and sometimes it's hard for them to just do it exactly the way I'd like it done, and it'll work. Those little things really add up. They really do mean a lot, and so that's important. But anyway, things are going really good overall, and I'm just going to roll a bunch of trail camera pictures and videos. You're going to see we got a lot of big bears. We got big bears during the daylight, and that's kind of, I guess if I would say, you can kind of put baiting into like 4 levels, I guess. It's fairly easy to put out a bear bait and get a small bear to come to the bait. Now, the next level is basically you got to get a bear to come to the bait during the daylight, which takes more skill, more attention to location and everything like that. And then the next level is getting the big bears to come to your bait. And the highest level is getting those big mature bears to come to your bait during the daylight, during legal shooting hours, and that is really, really difficult. And there's a lot of different levels of bear baiting, I guess you could say, and that's the reason that the majority of bears that are shot across the upper Midwest every year are 1 to 2, maybe 3 years old, and the really big mature males, most of them just don't get killed. But we're working on it, and we've got a few opportunities. I feel pretty good about the chances of all our hunters this year. So anyway, let's roll some stuff here and enjoy. All right, I just came into this bait here. This has got some of what you love to see and some of what you don't want to see. So what you love to see is these trails. Holy cow. The lid. There's the lid. There's the stand. This is absolutely beat down, packed down. You got some big piles of scat and you got some small piles of scat. So we know we got a sow with cubs on this bait. There's a big pile. Holy cow. That's a big bear right there. That's not a small bear that did that. So it's really thick around here. A lot of daylight activity. This is a really, really, really good bait. I like everything about it. I'm going to show you the stand a little bit better. Good background cover. Alright, I'm going to put these 4 buckets in here and then go back to the wheeler for... Heading out here this morning. It is a really cool morning. Lows were in the 40s last night, and that has really slowed things down at the baits. So there's an important thing I wanted to talk about here. I'm going to go into that in a little bit, and it's about people who think that I'm in some kind of a fantastic bear hunting area and there's like an extraordinary number of bears and big bears in this area. And I keep hearing people say, well, I want to hunt where you hunt. And it's really not about where I hunt. There are, like, you can literally do what I'm doing. You can do it anywhere there's bears. Wisconsin, Michigan, anywhere in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm going to go into that in a little more detail in a minute, but first, let's just give you an update on what's happening at the baits. Well, I got a few things to bring you up to speed on. I know the lighting isn't very good here, but honestly, I don't really care. It's such a beautiful day. I'm just sitting out here by the campfire, just enjoying this cooler weather. 2 days in a row now, it got down to about 40 degrees at night. Today's high is in the 60s. Which is great for carrying buckets into the woods, and man, have we been carrying a lot of buckets into the woods. It had started out with 36 barrels of trail mix, and I had, I think, 3 barrels left over from last year, and we are down to, I think, 14 barrels of trail mix right now, plus we had 7 chest freezers full of pastries, and those are just about gone as well. So we are going through the bait like crazy. The bears are just hitting the baits in unbelievable numbers. We got a lot of baits where we have 3 to 5 bears on camera at a time, which, I mean, 5 bears just laying at the bait together is something you just don't see. And you know, it's just kind of crazy this year. There's a fair amount of natural foods out there. Hazelnuts look pretty good. You know, we don't have very many oaks in this area, but the ones we do have are primarily bur oaks, and they're looking decent, but fortunately we don't have very many of them. The bears tend to migrate to the available oaks, and so some of them will leave this area and travel many, many miles to get to where the white oaks are, so we'll lose some bears, but there's plenty to go around, I guess is the way to put it. Well, I wanted to bring you up to speed on a few things right here. We're starting to see more nocturnal bears, and it's kind of weird. People think, oh, the weather cooled off nice, the bears are really going to hit the bait now, but it's really just the opposite of that. And this cooler weather has slowed things down a little bit, but we're having more morning activity right now. And we have never hunted in the mornings. I did one time put a guy out that wanted to sit all day. I just really have a hard time putting somebody on a bait in the morning because I feel like the risk of spooking a bear off the bait is so high. I called Dennis Udovich, the president of the Minnesota Guides Association, because he says we shoot a couple morning bears every year. And I thought I'm just going to talk to him a little bit about how he does it. You know, he gave me some ideas. They do things a little bit different than me. It's pretty risky to do that, but I might actually try it this year. I guess we'll see. We do have a lot of bears on the baits between 6 and 9 a.m. We don't start baiting until after 9 because of that. We don't like to bump bears off the bait. That's one of the worst things you can do, of course. So I guess we'll keep you up to speed on that. We'll decide at some point, you know, if we're going to follow up on that or not. So also, because there's a fair number of natural foods available, the bears are kind of picky on some of the baits. Some of them, they're just licking everything clean. Other ones, they're like the breads and buns and stuff like that we get. They're kind of pawing them aside. What I'm seeing is on baits where there's like maybe only 1 or 2 bears that are hitting it regularly, there seems to be, they have favorites, and they'll pick through and they'll eat some of it, not other parts of it. But where there's multiple bears, and I mean, we have some baits that have 6 to 10 bears hitting it every single day and night, and they're just absolutely licking everything clean. This new mix that I've got, I call it the Bear Professor mix. It's got the Pop-Tarts mixed in, it's got the dried fruits and sweets, along with about 80% trail mix nuts with some M&Ms, and I'm telling you, like, I've created a monster. This stuff, the bears are absolutely tripping over each other for it. So that's a double-edged sword because, man, I have spent thousands of dollars on this stuff already because the bears can't help themselves. So that's an update on that. Oh, they're replacing my bridge. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that about 3 years ago I built a bridge to kind of give me a shortcut where I had to cross a stream. that would get me from one bait to another and cut off about 3 miles of driving on an ATV between two baits. And been using that bridge quite a bit, and we went in there today and they got it all dug up. They threw my bridge aside, and I talked to the guy that was in there running the equipment. He said, well, we're putting a culvert in here, and then they're going to be logging back in there at some point. So hopefully they don't log right. One of my best baits is actually, so, but for a while anyway, it's going to be nice to have a lot better bridge. So that's pretty cool. You know, I can't answer all the questions. I just don't have time. There's so many questions that come in on Facebook and on YouTube, and I just don't have the time to sit down and answer all of them, and most of them have been answered in previous videos. So I hope people don't feel like I'm being short with them when I just say, you know, you can go back to the playlist and you can find a video that answers that question. And a lot of times that's just what I do, and I hope people don't think I'm rude by doing that, but I'm just trying to help people out without, you know, just spending hours. One question that came up today that I will answer, because I think a lot of you are wondering, and the question was, all the videos and photos that I'm showing of bears at the baits are adult bears. I'm not really showing any sows with cubs. And is that because I'm not having sows with cubs, or is that because I'm just not putting those online? Well, obviously, you know, I put a couple, 3 dozen photos and videos of bears at the baits online when I'm actually getting probably 300 to 500 photos and videos a day out of 24 baits right now. I've got 100 bears plus on these baits right now. I'm not obviously showing all of them. I kind of tend to show interesting ones or big bears and stuff like that, but to answer the question, we actually don't have hardly any sows with cubs on the bait. I actually don't have any sows with this year's cubs on any of the baits. I've got a couple sows with last year's cubs, they're yearlings, on I think 3 baits. I've got that on 3, 2, 1, I don't know. But anyway, I think the reason for that is just because I have so many adult bears on these baits that the sows are not willing to bring their smaller cubs around there. And I've seen in the past where feel safe bringing their cubs in there during like off-peak times when the bigger bears aren't there, but man, the bears are laying up really close, and I've designed these bait sites. I've picked sites where the bears stay nearby, and they're laying up close, and the sows with the smaller cubs are it's just too risky to bring them in there. So that's why I'm not seeing sows with cubs, I think. Let's go back to that part about people thinking that they want to hunt right where I hunt because it's such a great area and there's so many bears. And once again, you can do this anywhere if you do it right. So let's talk about that from an earlier video. So back to this notion that I'm in some kind of a super special area with lots of bears and big bears, and you know, I keep hearing this, that people are seeing all these bears on my baits and they're seeing them in the daylight, and a lot of people are going, I just want to hunt in that kind of an area where you hunt. And it's really not about that. There's nothing special about this area, and what I'm doing here you can do anywhere. It's just a matter of paying attention to the details and understanding how important it is, the little things that I do and how important they are. And there's a couple of big things too, and the big things are, number one is finding great locations, and I can never overstate the value of having a good bear bait location. I mean, you can just find a spot in the woods and throw out a pile of donuts and you might kill a yearling bear, and people who don't bear hunt, that's what they think we do. And even people, new bear hunters or even experienced bear hunters, don't understand how to really be effective, you have to do it much more intentional than that. And I hear all the time, like, I can't get bears to come in the daylight, and it's probably your location. And you know, I don't get the big bears on my bait, and it's probably your location. And I've got quite a few videos on this channel giving details on this, but location is critically important. That's a big thing. Another big thing is absolutely providing them with really high quality bait, really good quality food, and it costs money. You can't consistently kill big bears with popcorn and table scraps and licorice and things like that. Those are all things that are fine. Bears will eat them, but if you really want to consistently kill mature bears and keep them on your bait, they have a lot of options. They have a lot of other things they can eat. There's always food in the woods. Some years it's more than others, but there's other baiters around too. And you know, I'm in a competitive area. There's other baiters around mine too, and I'm getting the bears because I'm providing them with really high quality food in a place where they feel comfortable coming in and eating it in the day, and then got a place where they can go lay up nearby, so when they're hungry they're close, and that reduces the likelihood that I'm going to lose them to other hunters. Some of the little things are, when do you bait? You know, I'm fortunate that, you know, I'm an outfitter and I got guides, and we're all out baiting in the middle part of the day when it's least likely that you're going to spook a bear off the bait, because we have bears on the baits in the mornings and the evenings. And I just tell my guide, and it's hard, they're all go-getters, they want to get up in the morning and get to work, and it's hard for them to just sit there. And I say, don't get out there till at least 9. We want those morning bears to be able to move off, and once you spook a bear off the bait, they're just way too likely that bear could go nocturnal on you. So, you know, we have the advantage of being able to bait bears when they're least likely on the baits. And we are pouring the bait to them. You know, my strategy is don't let them run out of bait. Every time they come to the bait, I want them rewarded with something good to eat. And if they come at night, that's fine. They get something good to eat, and they have a good experience. They didn't get spooked, and they're more likely to come in earlier the next day and the next day and the next day, and hopefully they'll eventually make a mistake and come in when there's somebody sitting in a tree stand. You know, little things about how I hang my barrels and how I use my barrels, and people are baiting through the top of the barrels or have a hole right in the middle of the side of the barrel. And you know, like, I'm not disrespecting people that do it different than me, but I also want you to understand that these little things, like having the hole towards the bottom of the side of the barrel, makes it so that they're getting the fresh food all the time. If you're feeding it from the top or in the side of the barrel, whatever, you come back, the bait is not completely gone, you dump more on top of it, and pretty soon what's in the bottom of the barrel is starting to rot on you. So I want it to be able to feed down, and so they're always having fresh food. And as you notice, I put my barrels up 20-25 inches off the ground, so the bears are more likely to be standing, and I turn the holes so they're more likely to be broadside when there's a hunter in the stand. That increases the chance of getting a shot. But I don't know, I'm just kind of venting here a little bit. I just want you to understand that you can do this anywhere. It's not like the area that I'm in it's good bear habitat, but it's nothing special. It's just the systems that I'm using that make this work so well. So anyway, I hope I didn't bore you with so much talking here, but I thought you'd be interested in all this. Hunters are coming in less than a week. We're going to have a lot of opportunities for the hunters to shoot bears, so that should be really fun. See you on the next video. Man, it feels good to sit down for a few minutes here. Holy cow, it has been absolute chaos this week. We have gone through an unbelievable amount of bait, and we have so many bears on the baits that are just pounding the baits. It's unbelievable. I thought last year was a complete anomaly, but it's basically the same again this year, where I suppose we're feeding about 100 bears right now, and most of them are on the baits multiple times a day. Apparently there's just not much natural food. I mean, I thought it was going to be a year where there was quite a bit more natural foods than there was last year. There was a lot of choke cherries, hazelnuts and stuff, but the choke cherries are gone. The berries are gone. It's just kind of crazy right now. I just sent Josh to Wildwood. He took 26 empty barrels down there, and he's bringing 12 more barrels of the mix back with him. And I hope the 12 more barrels will get me through this season. We got hunters coming in this weekend. Mosquitoes are bad, but they're actually getting a little bit better. The numbers have gone down. It's been fairly dry. Now it's supposed to start raining again. We got several days where we got scattered showers coming up and potential thunderstorms, but overall it's been pretty good. I'm going to pause this for a second, go get a thermocell. Okay, I'm back. So here's a few things I'm going to go through. There's some things I'm sure that you're interested in because you're seeing a few brown bears on these trail camera pictures. We've got, I suppose, 10 to 15% bears that are not black, and I almost never have cinnamons in this area. I've never had a blonde, but you know, probably 15% brown bears is about what we're running. They tend to be pretty dark brown, although we have some that are a little bit lighter, and there's a lot of people that are interested in those. It's really difficult to put somebody on a bait where you can say, okay, you're probably going to be able to shoot a brown bear on this bait. You know, if somebody specifically is really interested in a brown, I'll try to put them on a bait where there's been a brown bear, but honestly, it's so hard to keep track of them because there's so many baits with so many different bears. Man, it's chaotic to try to nail it all down. I'm getting literally, you know, hundreds and hundreds of trail camera pictures and videos per day, and I can't even watch all the videos. You know, I scan the trail camera pictures and kind of look at what we got. I save a few, you know, that are, you know, look interesting or something like that. Interestingly, in the last video, I said we don't have any sows with this year's cubs on it. And the very next day after I said that, we got a bait with the sow with this year's cubs on it. We got a few sows with yearling cubs. We picked up a few more. We've actually continued to pick up more bears. Now we lose some bears. The acorns are really dropping right now. And we also have an interesting situation where bears from this area tend to migrate south where there's more oak trees. So we lose some bears about this time every year. But we're also continuing to pick up more and more bears all the time. I'm getting some kind of really lanky looking bears that they're not eating very well. And when they hit the baits, they just stay there. I mean, I got one bear that hit a bait a couple days ago and literally stayed at the bait for about 30 hours and didn't even leave. He just slept through the night. And that bait had been really slow, and we had a big bear on there that disappeared here about a week ago. I think he's one of these that took off and went to the acorns. And this new bear showed up, and he just literally slept there and everything. He just stayed at the bait, and he's just gorging himself. One of the reasons why I think this happens is that we continue to spray and do things like we're trying to attract more bears. And I think that's crazy, probably, when you think about we're going through hundreds of dollars worth of bait every single day to try to keep getting more bears. But bears come and bears go, and we've got some baits that have had a dozen or more bears that have visited them. They got maybe 6 to 8 that are just regulars there all the time. We've got one bait where I have 5 bears on camera that are at the bait at one time, and we're spraying Northwoods bear spray every time we bait. And so as some of the bears move to different areas, and bears travel long distances, is one thing that we know from these GPS collars, that these bears, even if the food is available, a lot of times they have what they normally do every fall and they just do it. So we have more bears coming. Like I had a bait here just a couple days ago where a brown bear showed up, and when it showed up within the next 12 hours, I had 2 piles of big scat that was full of corn. And so somebody's baiting with corn. Well, I got news for you. That bear just found my bait, and whoever's baiting with corn, you're not getting him back, because he's been there a couple times a day, every day since he found it. And that just illustrates the value of using really high quality bait. because that bear, he's going to be there hopefully right on through until maybe somebody will shoot him, but we'll probably be putting somebody on that stand within the first 3 days of the hunting season. I mean, we need to start killing some of these bears so we can quit feeding them. Holy cow, it's just unbelievable the amount of food that we're putting out of there, and the cost of it is just astronomical. I've always been a big believer in free feeding and just give them as much as they can eat and keep them close. I want them to fill their belly and go lay up nearby so that when they get hungry, they're close and they come right back. I always think it's a really bad thing to let them run out of bait. Now, we got a couple baits that they're going through it so fast that we can't put enough out there. They're running out every day, and we had a couple barrels that got completely smashed up. We've had barrels torn off the trees. I've got places where I put a second barrel out. I got places where I took a 30-gallon drum down and put a 55-gallon barrel out, and we still can't keep up with them. But I really believe to give them as much food as they can possibly eat. Right now, I'm starting to question if there is a top-end limit to that. I mean, how many bears? I got 15 or I think 18 tags altogether of people that we're trying to get bears for, and how many do we really need to be feeding 100 bears? I don't know. You know, every time that you hunt a bait, the opportunity, the chances, odds, or whatever, of killing a bear on that bait goes down a little bit. We've had baits that we've killed multiple bears off of, and sometimes when these bears are hitting and hitting and hitting multiple times a day, you can kill a bear and just give it a day of rest, come back in there, and the bears are back. So we'll see what happens, but I'm always questioning my strategy, so we'll see. We got a bear with something around his neck, and I'm going to show you this video right here, and if there's somebody out there that's watching this that recognizes what this is a six-sided thing. When I first saw him, I thought, is that a GPS collar or what? And it's not. It is a six-sided ring around his neck, and this is a big bear. This bear's probably pushing 400 pounds, and it's either made out of aluminum or some kind of plastic or something like that. And I would like to know what this is, and if we shoot this bear, I'll let you know. He's there a lot. We got a really good chance of killing him if somebody wants to, but there's no doubt in my mind that the neck fur is going to be damaged on this bear, so we'll see. But if you recognize this thing, let me know in the comments what it is. So we got hunters coming in a couple of days, and we're going to start killing bears and showing you footage of the bear hunts itself, and we really do appreciate that you're watching, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's a really good year to draw a tag. I'm pretty happy for the guys that are coming. I just think there's a really good chance that everybody's going to have a chance to shoot a bear again. That's been my history with this system that I'm using, and while I'm actually questioning it a little bit at times because of the overall cost, I just love the idea that I can feel confident that when somebody comes to this camp, I'm going to be able to put a bear in front of them. And not every guide has that kind of confidence, and so it's pretty valuable to me. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in a few days. Well, it is the morning of the 31st, and bear season opens tomorrow. We're going to put a lot of people on a lot of sites that have bears on them, and daylight bears. It's pretty exciting to be able to do that, so I'm sure we're going to be skinning bears tomorrow night. Just some last minute updates before we start hunting here. I shot my bow, which was pretty exciting. Just ignore the neighbor's rooster if you can. When I tore up my shoulder a little over a month ago, I just thought I'm probably not going to be able to bow hunt this fall. I'll either have to hunt with a rifle or a crossbow, but these shots that they gave me to help heal the shoulder, and then a cortisone shot, and the shoulder feels pretty normal. I've been carrying buckets and lifting and all kinds of things. It feels pretty normal, and so I decided to go out and shoot my bow, and I did, and that felt great. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we got guys in the woods doing last minute baiting here this morning, And then tomorrow, of course, we'll bait when we put people in the stands. So you got 7 fully guided hunters coming in and 4 semi-guided hunters, and all of them, we're putting them on baits that have daylight bears on them and shooter bears. So that's, you know, what you always hope for. And it depends on how many bears we kill tomorrow. It's just going to be how selective people are, I think, because everybody should have a chance to shoot a bear if they're quiet and still, and they're going to be in good locations. So that's what you love to do as a guide. You feel really tremendously confident. I told my skinner he's probably going to be up late. So the first day of the season is supposed to be really nice tomorrow, and then there's a chance of rain for each of the next 3 days. And we generally don't hunt under a heavy, steady rain, but when the rain ends is a really good time to be in the stand. So I hope everybody brings their rain gear, because a lot of times we'll try to put them out and have them there when the rain quits, especially if it's in the afternoon. You know, in mid to late afternoon, we watch the radar and we want to have people out there if possible. Bears don't seem to move a lot when there is a pretty heavy rain or a steady rain. They just go curl up under a spruce tree somewhere and wait it out. But as soon as the rain quits, they get up and shake off and go, man, I'm hungry. And that's a really high percentage chance to have a bear walk into your bait. So the next time you see me, we'll be taking people to the stands, and that's pretty exciting. Best time of the year right here. Here we go.
bears are coming?
Yeah.
Well, it's the morning of day 2 here. We had quite a day yesterday. We ended up skinning 3 bears. It could have been more, but man, a lot of strange things happened. We put Dave and Rita on a stand. It's a double ladder stand where the bears have just been pounding it every day. And I was joking with them that they might want to both take their rifles. They were going to have Rita shoot first, but I was kind of telling them, you know, there's enough bears in here that you might end up both getting one. And then when they got out there, it's I suppose a quarter mile from a lake shore, and there's a few homes along the side of that lake, and there was so much noise, and Josh was sitting in his truck there just waiting while they were in the stand, and he said there were guys like fighting in the yard in one of the places, and it was just chaos out there, and they didn't see any bears, which is a real shocker because, man, there's a lot of bears hitting that bait. But we're going to move them today. We're going to take them into a different stand that has a lot of bear activity. It's the one where Keith shot his yesterday. He got out there at 3 o'clock, a little after 3, and within a half an hour he had a pretty decent bear step out, and it was his first bear. He's like, there's a bear. Bang. The bear ran right down the trail we come in on, so we were able to sneak right in there, pull that bear out without making any noise. We literally made less disturbance than when you go in there to bait. So that's where we're going to put Dave and Rita today, because there's a lot of daytime activity really from 10 o'clock on. Josh shot a 309 pounder with his bow, made a good shot on it. Scott had a lot of interesting things happen with a bear that just kept circling him and going up and down the trail, and ended up right underneath his stand. And anyway, it finally got to the bait, turned broadside. He put an arrow through both lungs, and it went about 40 yards. Great blood trail. So we got 3 bears skinned. Jeremy passed quite 7 or 8 bears really. Some were really not shooters. Some were ones that most people would shoot, including a brown one. Man, he was just having fun watching bears, and that's, a big part of what this is all about. And a lot of people want to shoot a bear, the first decent bear they see, but other people are just more about the experience, and I kind of think that's the way Jeremy is. It's a 6-day hunt, so that's pretty cool. Dylan just saw 1 bear, and it was kind of small, so he passed it. So day 1 is in the books, and it was kind of a late night last night, and nobody's up right now. It rained during the night, and it looks like it's breaking up here, and I just looked at the radar, and it looks like it's going to move out of here, so hopefully that's good. We're going to put Dave and Rita out there at 10 o'clock when Josh goes in to bait, and he's just going to put them right in the stand, and the rest of them we'll wait till evening again. I don't know if any of the semi-guided hunters got bears last night. Hope a couple of them did, but anyway, I gotta go make breakfast for about 13, 14 people, so I better get busy. See you on the next video.
Hey, I'm Keith. I'm from Nebraska. Just got my first bear.
All right, very nice. Did it come in sneaking on you or what?
A little bit, yeah. Only seen it for 15 seconds.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So you saw it quite a while, 15 seconds. So.
There's a bear. Bang. Pretty much is what happened.
All right, well, congratulations.
You're all legal.
All right,
You're
perfect.
registered and everything.
Okay. That's what I like.
I'll have him pull the tooth, and I'll get the tooth sent in for you.
Perfect.
Okay, I got to run into Grand Rapids and get my side-by-side, my 570, which is in the shop again, because this time we had a tire that came off the rim way back in the middle of nowhere, and Jake and Sterling had to walk about a mile down the trail to get back to their truck, and then they had to go to cell service where they could call me. So Jake and Josh went out there in the middle of the night, not the middle of the night, but like in a cold, dark, rainy, windy night, and changed a tire on the side-by-side, and so I had to take it in. But anyway, that's just one of the drama things that have been happening. I'm going to give you an update on some of the bears that were shot and stuff like that here a little bit later in the video. But for right now, since I got a minute here to think, I just wanted to show you one hunt and how this happened, and a really surprising ending, I guess you would say. So this is a bear that was shot by Jeremy on the second day, and it's a yearling bear. And as you can see, I will show you, the first thing I'll do is I'll just show you the video, and you watch very carefully where the arrow enters this bear, and then you think about where do you think this bear was hit and what vitals it hit. So here goes. Okay, so after the shot, Jake went out there to help him recover this bear, and he followed a blood trail for about 60 yards, and it was just a speck here and a speck there. And Jake's a good tracker, so I trust him to find the bear. Well, anyway, they sent me this video, and they said, what should we do? Because all we can find is a speck here and a speck there, and we're running completely out of blood. And we've gone about 60 yards, and so I texted him back and I said, let's just back out, because it looks like a high gut shot to me. We need to give it 3 hours. So how many of you saw that shot and went, okay, that's a high gut shot? Raise your hand. Okay, almost everybody's hand is up. So anybody that watched that video would say, okay, yeah, that's a high gut shot, and maybe you could have got liver. So in the meantime, Jake and Jeremy came back to camp, and I texted this video to Brian Johnson, the anatomy hunter. And I said, Brian, what do you think of this shot? Do you think we got anything other than guts? And Brian texted me back, and he said, well, the bear was quartering away a little bit. You probably got the offside lung. And I'm like, really? I mean, no, really? Anyway, after 3 hours, they went out there, and they went quite a ways. They really blew that bait up. Unfortunately, they're crawling through bear tunnels, and I mean, it's really, really thick back in there. It's on the edge of a swamp. It's one of the reasons why it's such a good bait. And they found the bear, and it had gone about 120 yards at least. We got the bear back, and we opened the bear up after skinning it to see what vitals that broadhead hit. And believe it or not, the broadhead went through the back of the offside lung. Now, if you look at this, you have to realize that these lungs are really small because they're completely compressed. There's no air in them. And, their lungs are like this when there's no air in them, and they're like this, like, I don't know, 4 times as big when they're full of air. So this lung was probably full of air when it was shot. But I thought you'd be interested in this because no one, I don't think, except Brian Johnson, because he really knows his stuff, most people would not look at that and say, oh, you probably got the offside lung. But he did, and we're really glad that we recovered that bear. So let's talk a little bit about how things have gone. I did a short video this morning, and I'll play that right now. Well, here it is, I don't know, 6:30 in the morning or something, and it is cold, and it's been cold and rainy and windy for days. And we have somehow got 6 out of 7 hunters their bears, and we've had to pull out all the stops. Dave and Rita have really struggled. They have been sitting in the cold, miserable rain over and over for hours, and we decided to take Dave out in the morning. He agreed to do it. It was Josh's idea to go and take him in before daylight, because we got this one bait that has bears that keep coming in between 9 and noon. So Dave agreed to get up like early, and we had him in the stand before daylight, and sure enough, one of the bears came at 9 o'clock and he shot it. So we're really fortunate to get that. So Rita's the only one that hasn't got a bear yet, and she hasn't even seen a bear. And because of the really, really difficult conditions, she has at times, not sat for the last 2 hours of daylight. She's pretty well checked out. I mean, this is their last day of the hunt. I would be surprised if they don't just go home today, because I don't think she could take any more. Very, very unfortunate, but there's nothing I can do about it. We did everything we could. This weather has really put the kibosh on the bear movement. Tomorrow's supposed to start getting better again, so we got another group of hunters coming in next week, and the weather looks pretty good. So it's really, really unfortunate that this unseasonably horrible weather worked against us in the ways that it did. But a couple of the hunters filmed their hunts, which will be cool. I'll be able to bring that to you. We've also got 2 of the 4 semi-guided hunters got their bears, and one of them filmed it. I haven't talked to one of the others for a couple of days. One of the guys sat last night until dark in that miserable wind and rain and did not see anything. So, I mean, we give them 2 active baits per hunter, and it's been really tough for them. I do have another bait that has a bear on it that I could just kind of add that to their collection. Bill has been taking bait up to them every day so to make sure they have plenty of bait. It's been a tough week. I don't want to sound too negative. Like I said, we got 6 out of 7 people their bears, which sounds like it's a lot better than what some of the outfitters around us are doing, so I feel pretty good about that. I gotta go make French toast and warm up some syrup, and we actually have the fire going inside today because it's so cold out here. We'll see you again in a few days. I gotta apologize, it took me so long to get this vlog out. It's been such a busy week, second week of hunting here, and I've been getting video when I can and just need to take the time to try to patch it together, I guess, and put it into a video. You know, most people don't realize it takes a couple hours to download everything onto a computer, and then it takes another 2 to 3 hours to edit the video, and then it takes an hour or so to get it all uploaded and get it all ready for YouTube and everything. So it's very time consuming to put out these videos, but I know you love them, and I'm going to bring you this one here. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that's probably going to seem kind of cluttered and disjointed, but it's just video that I shot during the week. We had 4 hunters in this week. They all 4 got their bears. The 3 of them shot bears on the first night, and then Dino, the 4th guy, he didn't see any the first couple nights, and sometimes that happens. We never really can figure out why everybody's seeing bear except for one guy, but he ended up getting a pretty nice bear on the 3rd night then. So anyway, everybody's gone. Virgil went home, and I'm going to start hunting here, and Jake's going to hunt, and Bill's going to hunt. So we got more stuff coming. So I'm putting together a bunch of video for you of the hunters and their bears and taking them to the stand and getting their bears out and everything, and it's going to come at you pretty fast here, but here you go.
Load baits or something?
No, I just got a couple to put in, and I'm just switching 4-wheelers out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the bigger one today since I'm hauling 2 guys. This is a bear trail right here. They're coming from back that way, and they come through here, and they're walking in on the trail. So one might walk under the stand right below you. Okay, I just dropped off John at the stand with his brother Jeff, who's going to film for him, so hopefully we'll have a good hunt and we'll be able to show you that hunt. The bait was just crashed. Actually went in there yesterday because the bears had torn the barrel off the tree and had to reattach the barrel. Filled it back up. I hear thunder. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, there is thunderstorms to the northwest of us. I think they're going to miss us right here, but we got people kind of around that might get hit. Some guys are probably going to get wet, some of them aren't. But anyway, this bait has been getting hit really good every evening by multiple bears. So I fully expect to be dragging a bear out of here tonight and hope to get good video footage of it. Jake took Matt up north, so they're about 30 miles from here, maybe a little more. And then Bill took the other two guys into another area a little bit south of camp, and they're both going to be setting really good baits too. So we got 4 hunters. We might have 4 bears tonight. Would not be one bit surprised. So everybody's going to see bears, I'm sure, and we'll see what happens. Man, look at the maple trees are already churning colors. September 8th, and it literally feels like October 8th.
September 8th, 2025, Minnesota bear hunt with Bernie Barringer. Got on stand here about 3 o'clock, sitting on a bait that has been pretty active. Had 2 bears here yesterday. Got a storm rolling in right now from the west. Hopefully we miss it. Doesn't affect the hunt too much, but we're in here early and prepared for a long set. Hopefully they come out to check this bait after Bernie refreshened it as we walked in. I'm sitting here with a 270 rifle, just 18 yards from the bait, so it's going to be a short shot. This is my second bear hunt here at the harvest one, so hopefully tonight's going to be the night. Turned his head a little bit and got his nose up there, and I slowly started to raise him. He was on me. He had me pegged.
That was a bigger one?
Yeah, the first one was big.
Oh.
Like 300 pounds.
No, yeah. Big.
Old head, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And he turned and he went out. And I think shortly thereafter, another one came in here. Same deal. He got more broadside, and as I started to raise him, he turned and went out. I think that was the chocolate.
Oh.
I think.
Wow.
I mean, they was like a minute apart. Did they run together? Or?
Yeah, there's 2. There's a black one and a brown one. They're together a lot.
That first one wouldn't go off and come right back, would he?
Maybe. I mean, if he wasn't very spooked, it's
So here
possible.
comes a third opportunity. He sees it coming, so I'm ready. I'm shouldered. As soon as it steps in here, it's right back there. I pulled the trigger, nothing.
Oh my gosh.
And it kept following the trail, and I really pulled the trigger, nothing. The gun's got a 2-stage safety on it. You see red.
Oh,
The
geez.
first step, you can work the bolt, but it's got to go all the way forward.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is the 3rd time I've shot the gun.
Oh boy.
So there goes that one.
So this is bear number 4 that you
Bear
actually...
number 4 comes from this way. And all 3 of them went that way, so I don't know if this one was the 3rd one. It's a smaller, it's, I don't know, maybe 150.
Okay.
It's not as big as the first one, I know that.
First one was a monster. I don't know bears, but he's big bear.
You got good video of all this?
No.
No.
None. I was afraid to move. He couldn't even get the gun.
Oh, gosh.
I wasn't about to move.
Darn
He
it.
couldn't get the camera on the arm,
Oh.
so he was going to go handheld. And
He just...
I mean, those big bears were so skittish. And even
Man,
the 3rd one that walked through here, he was not as skittish, but when he saw me jerking on the trigger, he got the hell out
the
of
whole
here.
tree was shaking.
And this one, as soon, everything had came through here, and all of a sudden, boom. I shouldered quickly on this time. I'm like,
Yeah, jeez.
So yeah,
So it was standing here and went
Yeah.
that way?
went straight
Right out
back.
in there.
Oh, straight back here.
Yeah.
All right.
I see where he made a trail there, I think. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
So if you heard the death moan,
Yeah, he was.
let's see if we can find some blood.
I unchambered my gun.
The only blood I've seen is blood on the bear.
Well, here we are, day 1. Had a bear come in, put a shot on it, heard the death moan, and we didn't have any luck finding the blood trail, but we're here on a body search, and somebody thinks maybe they did see a bear in front of us, so let's take a look. Just like the deer, I always go to the most difficult place. And there's my first bear harvest, Minnesota black bear. I'm not on you. Looks like a nice one, Bernie.
It's a big one. It is a big one. Yeah. Yeah. When you said you saw a 300-pounder and it was bigger than this, I'm not sure what you saw.
Maybe it was this one.
I really think it was. He had the
They
look in
a
the
little bit
face,
different when they're
but
walking broadside and when they're straight on. Right? A few mosquitoes down here. Yeah, he looks big sitting and laying in that tub. Spill him there. Looks like. Don't spill him. Then we're on.
Well, just got word that my hunter shot a bear, so pretty excited here. I'm just heading in now on the trail, and we'll recover this bear hopefully. And sounds like Dad's hunter, Bill's hunter, got a bear about a half hour ago. So we're looking really good. 2 out of 4 the way it sounds, as long as this here's a dead bear, which I'm sure it is. So get you some more footage when we go in after it. Talk to you soon.
Congratulations.
Let's find him first.
All right, all right.
There were 2 of them.
Okay,
There was a sow here for a long time that I was watching.
okay.
And then 4 came. They were lined up for a long time where I couldn't shoot.
Okay.
Finally, he got up and offered me a shot.
So where? Show me where he was standing when you shot. Okay. All right. He ran right back on that trail.
Moan. Not too far.
You heard a good death moan.
I heard moaning. I don't know.
Yeah, that's typically sounds. How far do you think that sounded like it was just straight out, that death moan?
Yeah, I would say 30 to 50 yards right there.
Okay. Okay, that's the way they tend to run from this location. There's a dried up beaver pond swamp type thing back here. So, how's your adrenaline feeling? All right, good deal, good deal. All right, we're gonna go find this bear. Look at that. Look at that. That is a beautiful black bear.
What do you think about that?
Huh? Look at that. Oh, yeah. Well, how do you feel about this bear?
Oh, this is.
All right, Wes got one. I'm gonna go in for support. Phil's already in there. He said he heard the death moan, so let's go get it.
I heard a death moan over here, but his blood trail quit on me.
Okay.
But I heard him right over here. He moaned for a minute.
Okay.
Blood here.
Yeah, that could have sprayed out like.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So if he hit it this side, it's spraying that side.
But you're pretty sure it went down this trail.
I thought it did, but maybe I'm wrong, Bernie. But like I say,
Is that what? No. I mean, he was just.
We're here.
You got it? Oh, look at there. There's blood on that bear.
congratulations.
Man, congratulations.
Congratulations, you.
That's a pretty good one right there.
To me, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he looks big.
But he did give it, when he gave the death moan, I thought, well,
Oh yeah, that's a
Where you go, 2?
Oh, over that. He's definitely.
It may help you.
Let me get up there. And...
Well, I'm out pulling baits here, guys. Just pulled one of the baits that we shot one bear off of, but it's just not much happening right now. And I'm just out in the woods getting these baits out. Josh pulled some, and Bill and Jake pulled some. We still got one hunter in camp that hasn't shot a bear. It's day 2 of week 2, and on day 1, 3 of the 4 shot bears, including some. They're all pretty nice ones, and they're all males. But we got one more guy in the woods right now. It's really bittersweet when the season is winding down and we're pulling the baits out of the woods. And it's a nice sunny day, about 68 degrees and blue skies. And it's the time that you just love to be in the woods, and it's pretty much over. Just one more hunter who I really think will probably get a bear tonight. And then we're done for the year, except that I got a tag, and Jake's got a tag, and Bill's got a tag. So we were at 24 baits total, and we're down to 13, and then we just pulled some more. So we're probably going to be down to about 7 or 8 tomorrow, and then those will just be the baits that Jake and I and Bill will be planning to hunt. So thanks for following along. We are really just about to wrap this up. So there you have it for the second week. I'll probably do one more vlog this year as kind of a wrap up of the season and some things that we learned and some things that went right and went wrong, and just kind of fill you in on that. Also keep in mind that I have a tag and I'm going to start hunting. Jake has a tag, he's going to start hunting. And Bill has a tag, and I think he's going to probably just take the first bear he sees, but Jake and I are going to hold out maybe for a little bigger one, or there's a couple of brown ones that we have on baits that are, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we both have tags, so we got a lot more good stuff coming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. I'm just getting caught up on some video here, and I wanted to bring you Jake's bear hunt. Jake got a bow from his uncle, and he'd been practicing with it. He'd never shot anything with a bow, so he decided to make this bear hunt his first bow hunt. And he did a great job. He got some good video that I'm going to share with you. You're probably going to be surprised about the shot and the results of the shot, but it's pretty interesting stuff. We'll jump right into it. Here we go.
I'm going to go into a location here that we've had 2 bears on. One's a real large male, and the other is a sow that we believe it to be a sow, nice brown sow. So we're hoping that this male comes in. He's been irregular at best. I baited it the day before yesterday, and so nobody was in there at all yesterday, and my intent here today is to just sneak in, and I'm not even going to go to the bait. I'm not going to dump any bait or any spray or nothing. I'm just going to try to sneak in and get in the stand, and hope that he comes in within shooting hours. So, all right. I'm about 200 yards from
my location, and I am gonna sneak in from here right now. Take another shot when I get up in the tree.
All right, guys, so last night there was quite the night. That big black bear came in at 7:30. I got a nice shot in it. The shot was actually a little bit far back. I decided not to push it last night there in the dark. So we backed out. Bernie and I looked at the film last night, sent it off to the anatomy hunter. We definitely think it's a dead bear. It was the right decision to back out. So here this morning, my friend Jason and I, we're gonna head in there and go locate this bear. So wish us some luck. All right, we're just in here. Here's the barrel. We're just getting started on our track. This is the trail that the bear ran down. We're about 10 yards away. And we got, I don't know if you can see that, but we got really good blood here, huh, Jason?
All through here, good blood.
So this would be the entry side of the bear. We're not sure if the arrow came through, and we think it might be still in him. So we're gonna follow this and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, we got about 8-10 inches of the arrow here.
Okay.
Bust it off, it's in him.
Okay. So we lost his blood trail for quite a while. We just walked down to the edge of this swamp, and we're looking at the bear trails coming into this thick swamp. And Jason here found some blood and the arrow. So it looks like he bedded here for a little bit, maybe. We're gonna see what we can follow him.
Okay, bud, how's it looking?
Well, we just come through this small swamp here.
Yep.
Jason found the arrow on the other side, and there was a pool of blood, but it wasn't a bed. We think that the bear stood there and turned around and bit the arrow off.
Okay.
Very little blood coming through the swamp, but then it seems like it's picking up coming through here on this green. We're surprised it came back up into these pine trees.
Right. Yeah, there's good blood here.
You can see there's real good blood here. So this looks like a little bit of maybe a bed right up here.
Okay.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I don't know if he must have laid here for a little bit, huh?
Sure looks like it. Definitely something pretty padded down there. Weirdly, he's kind of running this ridge.
All right, well, let's
try to see where he went from here.
Looks like it slowed. I mean, it's funny how it slows down and then it picks up again. We'll see what we can do here.
There's a little bit of blood here.
Okay, great. I don't see much, but
I got a little blood here, bud.
you got a little bit there.
A little bit here.
Yeah, he's going down through
kind of
here.
back down into the swamp.
I'm gonna go down here on this better trail and circle around.
Okay. Kind of focus in on here.
Come on in here.
Oh, check this out.
We got a dead bear.
Nice, bud. That's a good bear.
Oh, look at him.
Very nice. He looks good from here. Let's go check him out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a nice bear, bud.
Blood all, he's just dripping through here.
He really opened up. We come back down in the swamp. Look at the blood all over the ferns.
Look at this bear.
Oh, that's a good one, bud. Yes.
Oh,
Look at that head.
Unbelievable.
That is a nice bear. Oh, he's got a nice white spot on his chest. Beautiful brown nose on him. Look at the head on that thing. Oh, he's beautiful, bud. That is awesome.
Look at his paws. Yeah, he does have a nice.
Look at that.
Little white flash.
Beautiful. Beautiful bear, bud.
Look at that.
Jeez. Good job.
Unbelievable.
Good job, bud.
Thank you, Jason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it, bud. That is awesome. What do you got there, bud?
It's a little bit far back, like we talked. The bear was quartering away. We knew the arrow was hit. The bear was hit too far back. I decided not to go after it last night. I just snuck out of the stand, and I went in. We looked at the video Bernie and I did last night. We sent it to the anatomy hunter. He felt like we got liver for sure.
Yep.
So Jason and I come in here this morning. To be honest with you, it was a pretty difficult track.
Yes,
we
very.
lost it 3-4 times, and then once we found the arrow where the bear had bit it off, it really started bleeding then, and we were able to find it basically another probably 75, 80 yards after it bit the arrow off. I think it probably went a couple 100 yards here total. So, but you know what? It's a dead bear. We're happy.
Dead bear. Awesome. Great job, bud.
Thank you.
Proud of you. Bear.
All right, we got it out. We took this bait site down, Jason and I,
Here we go.
and we got the anatomy gentleman at Jason's house waiting for us there. So we got to hurry up and try to get to the truck to get this bear skunned and taken care of.
I like
See
it.
you there at the house.
Good deal.
Okay, my next step in the process of molding this liver is I've taken the arrow, I'm putting it through the hole in the carcass where the arrow entered into it. I'm then going through the diaphragm. You see the hole in the diaphragm there. This then is the outside of the liver where it hit there. This is where it exited the liver there. It then went through over here, in and out of the liver, and then over here, it went through the hole there, and then that went out down there. And if you go on the side over there, Doris, you'll see this is where the arrow came out. So now, if you look on top, this will show you here on top how the arrow went through the liver.
We're completely changing gears here. I've been hauling people around and hauling bait around for quite a few weeks, and last night our last client got his bear. So I'm going to start hunting for myself. And today what I'm doing is I'm pulling some baits. Also got Jake and Bill are out pulling some baits. And Jake and Bill also have tags. And so we're going to be down to 5 baits left after today. Each of us have picked a bait that we're going to hunt tonight. And then if we don't all fill tonight, we'll have a couple extras for backups. So the bait that I'm going to hunt tonight, I'm going in there right now. And I'm going to bait it and spray the Northwood spray and check the camera and everything as we always do in the middle of the day like this, and just a completely normal routine. And then I'm going to come back in here about 3 o'clock and just sneak back into the stand and hunt. The first time I've hunted in Minnesota since 2019. It's been a long time to get a tag, and I'm pretty excited about it. In this bait, I've got multiple bears. We put a client on this bait this year, but he didn't see anything. We've got a smaller bear and a pretty nice black one, and then we got a big brown one, which is the one I'd really like to get, but he's pretty irregular. He's not dependable at all, and so I feel like I have to decide whether it's worth waiting for him or not. You know, if he just happens to come in, that's the bear I want. But for right now, I'm going to go in there and pull the card, check the camera, and see if he's been there since I checked it last, which was just yesterday. Here we go. Alright, I'm going in early. It's about 2 o'clock right now. I got about a quarter-mile four-wheeler ride, and then from there where I parked the four-wheeler, I got about 60 yards to the bait. It's a little bit breezy out of the south, but when you get back in the woods, you don't notice it much. It's really kind of surprising how much it feels like fall right now. And I don't want to talk when I get in the stand, because I know those bears are close, so I'm just going to kind of give you an introduction here. So I went home and checked the card after I baited this morning. I did the regular routine, and the brown one that I was hoping for hasn't been back for 4 days. I got a yearling and a couple of medium-sized bears, and then a really big one, 300 plus. And those are pretty predictable. So I'm not going to hold out for that brown one. If that big one comes in, I'm going to shoot it if I get a chance. This stand has been hunted this year, so the bears are a little bit more, I guess you'd say, skittery, jittery, whatever, than they would be otherwise. But I'm going to get unloaded and head on in there. Well, I wasn't expecting to be doing this clip. I should have backed out of there. Man, the wind was really good for the first 3 hours or so, and that bear's been coming between 6:30 and 7:30 for multiple days in a row. And then about 7 o'clock, just a real light wind started coming from the wrong direction. It was blowing the direction right up into where the bear has been coming from. And yeah, I thought about getting out. I'm like, man, I should get out of here, but maybe it's going to change back, because it's been good all night. And then but I didn't, and I stuck it out till dark and did not see the bear, so may have just ruined that spot. Well, I got other options, so tomorrow's another day. It's day 2 here, and I changed locations. You know, I was going to give it a try a couple times for that great big bear, but he didn't come at all last night, and frankly, I've kind of decided to lower my standards a little bit. I've been away from home for over a month, and I got a bear here that's pretty much a slam dunk. I shouldn't say that, because sure as the world he won't come tonight, but I've got one bear that's coming in the daylight. It's a real nice one. Then I got several that are coming at night here. So I've cut back the bait, which I know I normally don't do, but I'm experimenting here in trying to just reward the bear that is coming in the daylight. It's not like I'm trying to create competition or anything, but I'm trying to just reward the bear that is coming in the daylight, so he keeps getting fed, but not feeding the ones that are coming at night. We've already killed 2 bears off of this bait this year, but there's quite a few more here. This has been a historically really good bait. We've killed a lot of bears in here over the years. It's a very, very good spot. So I got out here kind of late. It's like almost 4:30. I just was working on videos all day and didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but I'm in the stand now, and the bear that's been coming in here in the daylight's been coming in about 6:30, so I should be in pretty good shape. Anyway, the wind is pretty much ideal. There's some rain squalls moving around us, but nothing that looks like it's going to go right over us. Really cool looking spot here on the edge of a big swamp. I'll give you a look. Okay, it's Monday night. I didn't hunt Sunday night. And Saturday night I sat this same stand, and it's pretty windy right now, so I can talk for a little bit here. It's noisy in the woods right now. The wind is a little bit better direction than it was last time I was in here. I had those 2 bigger bears that winded me about 60 yards downwind. I could just see them through an opening back there, and they didn't come in. The smaller one that did come in, he did come in again yesterday. I got him on camera, and I got the little bit bigger one that's probably a shooter for me at this point. I'm kind of on a meat hunt right now, I guess. After, you know, being in the woods every day and being away from home for over a month, I'm definitely ready to shoot a bear and put it in the freezer. The wind is waving this tree around pretty good. I'm in one of the biggest trees, of course. We're going to settle in here, and it's about 4 o'clock, so I got in a little late, but it should be all right. The bears haven't been coming till about 6 and after. We had quite a few bears on trail camera at this bait between 6 and 7:30. So there's multiple daylight bears in here. We'll just hope that a pretty decent sized one decides to come in tonight, and I'm gonna turn loose an arrow on them. Well, the conditions are pretty much ideal tonight. I did not go out yesterday because it was super hot and humid, and the wind direction was bad for the places I wanted to hunt. I guess I should wrap up 2 nights ago where I had a shooter bear come in right at last light. I had 10 minutes of legal shooting light left, but I didn't even take my bow off the hanger. I turned my camera on and the screen was black, so I knew I wouldn't be able to get the shot. You know, sometimes it just doesn't feel right, and it was definitely a shooter bear with 10 minutes of legal shooting light left. But boy, that's when the bad shots happen, is right at the end of legal light. And just a compounded situation of not being able to get it on video, and the like it's really heavy canopy in there, so it gets dark quickly, and I wasn't sure I'd even be able to see my pins. So the unfortunate part about that was that I had to get down with a bear at the bait, so that bear got spooked pretty bad. But I'm at a different bait tonight, so I got a big one that's coming in here, like really big, and he's been in the daylight a couple of times in the last 3-4 days. He's come in during the night a couple times, and then there's a couple other kind of backup bears, I guess, that are definitely shooters. And the wind is perfect. The weather's just really good right now, 74 degrees and a nice breeze from the right direction. So I'm gonna head on in there and get set up, and hopefully, you know, it's time. I'm ready to shoot a bear here. I'm done passing them up and making excuses for the ones I'm not shooting, I guess. Didn't like shooting him sitting down like that, but he turned his head away, gave me a perfect chance to draw, and my pen looked good, felt good. Really looked like I got a double lung shot on him. It's been about a minute, and I haven't heard a death moan. Was really hoping to hear a death moan, but 6:51. Came in nice and early. Well, I'm going to give him 20 or 30 minutes. I got family in camp right now, and it would sure be fun for them to be able to come out. That is a nice bear. I'm sure I killed him. It's just a matter of recovering him, which I don't think will be too bad. I'll review the shot and see what we got here. Oh, gosh, there ain't nothing like this. I'm not kidding you. There ain't nothing like this. He ain't going far. He ain't going far. All right. We're going to back out of here for a few minutes. I'm going to need help getting this one out. I'm not going to be able to get this thing out by myself. Got good blood here. Blood there, blood. Blood. Jeepers, this is thick. Holy cow. Nothing but tunnels back in here. Alright. Well, he fell down right here, it looks like. No, he got up and fell down right there again. Holy cow. Oh. There he is. There he is. Man, is he in a tough spot. Well, we got the bear taken care of last night and in the freezer. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with the skin yet. Definitely going to make a bunch of summer sausage, breakfast sausage. There's a lot of different kinds of sausage I like to make out of bear meat. Just kind of wrapping up here this morning and downloading video. Just wanted to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this hunt. We got a lot more stuff coming, and we'll see you on the next video. Well, September 20th, and the mosquitoes are still bad. So we're just getting everything pulled out of the woods here. We're just wrapping it up for the year. It's been a really, really good year, and I just thought I would bring you kind of a rundown. It's a little breezy here. Hopefully it's not messing with the microphone too much. But I just wanted to bring you up to speed on some stuff and kind of give you some thoughts on the entire season. We ended up going 16 for 17 on bears. The person who did not get a bear is the first person that ever was in my camp that did not even see a bear. But they only sat till dark 2 nights out of 6, and got out of the stand. It was miserable weather, so I can't blame this person too much. It was, you know, in the 40s and windy and cold the 2 nights that they got out of the stand early. But then they left 2 days early and did not get a bear. Everybody else got a bear. So we're just about done getting everything out of the woods for the year. And I just made a few notes on my phone of things that were interesting that I thought we would cover, that you would probably be interested in. One of the things is that we had a lot of morning, midday, and daylight bears this year. We had a lot of baits that had multiple bears on them, sometimes 4 or 5 on camera at a time, and they're there pretty much all hours of the day. We killed a bear in the morning this year. We actually put a guy on the stand before daylight, and he shot a bear at 9 o'clock. We've never done that before, but we just had a lot of daylight bears. And I think that is a function of having really good locations where the bears feel comfortable and being really consistent with our baiting and everything that we do, and the fact that these baits are getting better year after year, because we're baiting way more bears than we shoot, of course. You know, we were feeding probably over 100 bears, and we end up getting 16 of them. So that's a lot of bears that know where these baits are for the future, and a lot of the big bears that are still aware of the baits. And some of them are, like, I'm pulling cameras right now that have bears still on them. They're checking back, even though some of these baits, we haven't put bait in them for 3-4 days or more, and the bears are still checking them. I had quite a few people baiting near me this year, which was kind of a surprise. You know, they did add 100 more tags to zone 27 this year, so there's definitely going to be more people in the woods. But it seems like there are people who just think like I'm in some kind of a special area, and they just want to come up and bait where I'm baiting. And some of them I think were pretty close, it seemed like, and I don't know if that really makes sense. I don't know if you really want to bait near me, because most of the places where I'm baiting, I'm probably in a better location than you are. I don't know if that really makes sense, because what I'm doing is really working, and there's a lot of places where I think you might be better off. I'll just put it that way. We had a lot of breakdowns and repairs this year. Man, I spent a lot of money on ATVs and flat tires, and just transmission going out of my red truck, and there's just a lot of overhead. You know, I'm one of the more expensive guides in the state, and I pay my people that work for me really well, and I'm really glad that I attract a high quality clientele. But there's also just a lot of overhead. We went through 52 barrels of bait this year. That's a lot of money that we put into the woods in bait. And then all the gas and, you know, paying the baiters and the guides and everything like that. Man, you're not going to get rich doing this. I'll never want to figure out how much I'm making per hour, put it that way. It'd be really disappointing, I'm sure. We had some horrible weather that first week. I mentioned already the one person that came in at 6 o'clock 2 days. We really, you know, we killed a lot of bears right away, and then the weather got bad, and then the last couple people that didn't have their bears yet, they really struggled. We finally got them. Then the second week, the weather improved, and 3 out of the 4 hunters got their bears the first night. And then the fourth guy, I think he got his on the third night. So then Jake went out and got one, I went out and got one, and Bill just decided he doesn't really care if he shoots a bear or not. So he's still got a tag in his pocket, and we're pulling bait. So I think he's going to eat the tag the way it sounds. So I mentioned that we went through 52 barrels of bait, and most of them were this Professor mix, this Bernie's Bear mix that Wildwood Bear Bait made for me, and it was phenomenal. It had just the right amount of sweets and dried fruits in it, and it had trail mix with nuts. It was really, really good. He was out of it when I went back and needed more, so I got honey roasted cashews. I think I got 8 barrels of honey roasted cashews that I mixed in with it, and that worked okay too because I already had the bears coming. The only issue that we ran into with this mix with the Pop-Tarts in it to sweeten it up was that really compacted bad, so we're gonna have to drop the percentage of Pop-Tarts, or we're just gonna have to find something else to sweeten it up with. I don't want too much sweets in there, as you know, but we're still gonna tweak that a little bit. I was super impressed with how well it worked this year though, and how well the bears just tripped over each other trying to get to it. It was really, really encouraging to see that and learn how effective that was. So as you probably saw, we're opening these baits with fryer oil mixed with Gold Rush, and we spray it all around the bait site. That really gets them going fast, and then we don't typically go back with Gold Rush. There's a couple baits that started real slow, and I did go back and hit them again, and then they started right up. But we do use fruit sprays, fruit type sprays I really like in the fall. And every time we go in, we spray the trails that the bears are walking in on in the bushes so they get it on their fur and track it around and stuff. And this year we tried a new one which was called Jelly Rancher, which was pretty impressive. And of course we did the blueberry and the raspberry also, so all those were good. And as you saw, they were very, very effective in keeping the bears coming, bringing new bears in. You know, we had new bears coming throughout the season, that new bears would show up. So I had 7 baits where I put the Moultrie cell cameras on, and I was really surprised. In fact, I'm going to do an entire video on these cell cameras on bear baits, because most of the areas that I hunt here just don't have any cell service. There's a lot of them you can get a text to go through, but you can't get a call to stay. I mean, they just drop the calls right away whenever people try to call you. But these cell cameras, the Moultrie Mobile Edge cameras, really pick up the cell signal better than I would. I think I'm going to add them to more baits next year, because I think in most of these baits where you can get a text to go out, I think you can get these cameras to work. They got the big antenna on them, and I added them to more baits this year and they worked great. So I think I'm going to do more of them next year. It's really nice to not have to go in there until the bait's empty, and you don't have to walk in there every day and everything. I learned a lot about that aspect of this year, and I'm gonna, like I said, do an entire video just on that. There's a lot of little things that I learned about that. So we didn't have any brown bears this year. We had several on camera, but none were shot until I actually ended up hunting towards the end, and I got one of the brown ones off of one of the baits. But we had quite a few baits that had the chocolates on them this year. They just, for some reason, nobody shot one until I did at the end there. But they're going to be bigger next year, and we do have, I don't know, 15 to 20% chocolates in this area, and it's kind of a cool aspect of this part of northern Minnesota. And the one thing I guess that I would leave you with, the really cool part of doing what I do in here is that you meet so many cool people. You just, I mean, it's just really fun to get to know people that are in camp, and you're meeting bear hunters from all across the United States. We had people from all over the place this year again. They're just neat people, and we got a lot in common, and it's surprising how they become friends with each other in camp. And in fact, you know, we had a couple guys that met in camp a couple years ago, and they've been shooting 3D shoots together, and they actually booked together for when they draw again in a couple more years. And I think that's probably the aspect of this that really warms my heart, is just to see people that meet people from other parts of the country, and they talk about things that they do for a living and everything like that. And I'll talk to you later, Jake. That's a pretty cool aspect of this. So thank you very much for watching this year's vlog, and we had a lot more videos coming. I got a lot more ideas coming down the pipe. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Really value that you're watching this, that you're hitting like and subscribing and everything like that. It means a lot to me. We'll see you on the next video.